Alright, what's happening YouTube? Just decided I wanted to make a video using the Samsung Gear S3 Frontier watch on how to extend your battery life on this. I found 3 ways that actually work fairly well for me. I usually get about, I would say, probably a solid 3 days of moderate use, just shutting a couple of things off. Obviously, if these things are something that you use all the time and they're detrimental to you, then, you know, obviously you don't need to shut them off. But for me, they're not. So the first thing is the heart rate. Now, the heart rate sensor will actually take your heart rate every hour. I don't need it to take my heart rate every hour. It's not that concerning to me. So if I decide I want to look at my heart rate, I can do that manually. But otherwise, I'll shut it off so that it's not automatically doing that. And the way you do that is you go into, let's see here, go into the settings, and we go into S Health, and then we're going to go all the way over to the very end where the settings are, and from here we're going to go down to the auto heart rate, which is right here. As you can see, I have that toggled off. You can turn it on, or in my case, I have it off. And I prefer that it's off. Like I said, I don't need that to check my heart rate every hour. I don't think there's, for me anyway, there's not much of a benefit to knowing my heart rate every hour. Like I said, if I want to know my heart rate, I can go in and do it manually. Now, the cool thing about that, after you shut the heart rate off, so it's not going to check it, you know, hourly like it normally would. But if you start an activity, it will automatically turn on the heart rate, so you don't have to worry about going in and toggling that back on. If you're in an activity, it will start it up automatically. The second thing I have shut off is, because I don't use it, is the S-Voice. Now, maybe you guys like S-Voice. I'm not a huge fan of S-Voice, so for me to turn this off, it's really not that big of a deal. But again, if this is something that you use and something that you like, then by all means leave it on. But this helps with battery. So once you go into S Health, you see the 3 dots over on the right hand side here. What happens is that the S-Voice is constantly waiting for a command, and so it's constantly listening for that, which uses your battery. So the first option here is to turn that off, which you can do there. So if I go back into the 3 dots, you can see it's, you can tap that, there we go, and then we can either turn it on or we can turn it off. And like I said, I prefer to actually have this off. And then the third option is the Do Not Disturb. I wasn't really able to find a whole lot of information on the internet about this Do Not Disturb option. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know if many of you out there wear your watches to sleep. I do. I actually prefer to wear my watch to bed. I don't know why, but I do. So one of the things you can do is turn on Do Not Disturb, and you can specify days and times for the Do Not Disturb to toggle, which is actually pretty cool. So let me show you what that looks like. So you go into your settings, and then you go down to Device, and then you go down to Do Not Disturb, which is here, and you select that. Now what I've done is I've got the Do Not Disturb on a schedule, which you can see here. I've got all the days selected, and you can slide down one more option and you can set the times, the start time and the end time for Do Not Disturb. Now, obviously, Do Not Disturb on our cell phones. We can select which callers get through and which callers don't, and which text messages get through and which ones don't. On this, I have not been able to find a feature for that. So this will basically completely shut down any messaging or phone calls or alerts from your cell phone to your watch. But what the nice feature on this, if you do wear this to bed, is that when you're sleeping with your watch, it's constantly turning on and off, which greatly reduces the battery. when you turn the Do Not Disturb feature on, I'm going to show you what happens. I'm just going to turn it on manually, and we're going to back all the way out to the main face, and we're going to let it go to sleep. Now, as you can see, no movement of this watch face. I've got the always on display on currently, so that's why you can still see the display, but you don't see the seconds. It will take a button press to activate the watch. So if you're sleeping, as you can see now, I've got it off. If you're sleeping, the movement of your body is not going to cause that watch to turn on. The only way it's going to turn on is either rotate the bezel or by a button press. And I found that turning that feature on, I use about 3% of my battery during the night, which is fantastic. Typically, if it's off, you're going to use, I don't know, in excess of 12% throughout the night because of all the movement. So these are the three things that I've actually found work fairly well. Like I said, I can get about 3 full days of battery with moderate use with this watch just by toggling those features off. But again, if those are features that you like, by all means leave them on. Maybe you found some other ways to save battery on this, but overall I think it's a pretty fantastic watch. It works well for my use. I like the size of it, and being able to get 3 days on this thing is pretty fantastic. Alright, I guess that's it. Signing off. Thanks.